Check it out. Now, ain't this a bitch? Now, you'd have never believed this goddamn plot twist. A nigga who his song is called Ice Tray, the gang, is basically pulling a boom gang on the goddamn jewelers he getting his ice from, okay? Ain't this a goddamn bitch, bruh? Now, listen, straight out of the book of Sean Kingston, a jeweler, his name is Eric the Jeweler, which, by the way, that's a basic fucking name, but fine. Eric the Jeweler. He claims that he did some type of jewelry work for the Migos, and in particular, Offset, and when he was trying to collect, basically, Offset was hitting with a boom gang, like, fuck out of here, nigga, I ain't paying you no, and it was only $10,000. Only $10,000, okay? Keep in mind, we've seen the Migos on Instagram with a new jewelry game every fucking, 2 days. By the way, I gotta give y'all an insight into the jewelry game, and by the way, I am not trying to insinuate that the Migos ain't fucking filthy rich. I'm hearing they're getting over $100,000 per show. Even if you split that 3 ways, at least $33,000 each per show. Okay, now, let me tell you how the jewelry game goes. The jewelry game goes like this, okay? Most of the time, niggas leave the jewelry store with goddamn jewelry for free. Okay? Now, surprise, this is just how it goes. Especially when you're a rapper, you got a name. Most time jewelers, they give a rapper a piece and they say, yo, just tag me on the gram, because it's all about building your name up. Once you get your name up, you get your brand up, you can really start taxing niggas, and also you become the go-to guy, just like how you see people, Eliante or whatever, and you see some other jewelers, they get shout out in song, they basically become the staple of the culture in terms of getting people iced out, okay? Now, new jewelers come in every so often, and you know how you get out the nigga that already has a name? You got to build a name. You build a name by hollering at celebrities, and you tell them you can make them a piece, or you give them some shit they walk away with. Sometimes also, we see rappers take out payment plans. Okay, so if you made a piece that, and by the way, the appraisal shit is a whole nother game, which is a finesse with of course, insurance. So a jeweler might appraise your goddamn chain to be worth $250,000, but in reality, if you look at normal cost of work, which of course they got to make the piece, right? And of course, how much a diamonds cost, that shit don't cost no $250,000. It probably costs $70,000. Of course, the jeweler is going to do you a favor by appraising it for $250,000, that you can insure it for $250,000, that if anything happens to it, you get $250,000. That's the fucking finesse. They end up finessing the goddamn insurance company. Don't ask me, I know. I was really thinking about getting a chain for 2 seconds. Okay, now, check this out. This jeweler, never heard of him, Eric the Jeweler, he made some piece of Offset. I don't know if it was a piece that he probably gave Offset, or Offset said, all right, I'm going to take this piece, probably tag you in it, or post it on my story by saying, yo, everybody go fuck with him. I got this new piece. Keep in mind, it's only $10,000. The Migos, they got a shit ton of money. $10,000 isn't all that much. I'm sorry to say, even though for broke niggas like me, it's a lot. Now, he gets the piece, and Offset never pays. Now, apparently the jeweler keeps hitting him up like, yo, we going to pay. Never pays. Okay, now, the jeweler claims he bumps into the Migos at One Oak. Okay, One Oak is a popular club. It's in a couple of big cities, but I believe this one here is in L.A. Okay, now, when they bump into each other, the jeweler basically said, yo, Offset, what's up with that money? And listen, before he could finish the fucking sentence, Quavo give that nigga a left hook. According to the nigga who got hit, okay, this Eric the Jeweler nigga, he says Quavo give him a left hook, a right hook, and basically gave him a bad case of the beats, okay? Now, he says he suffered a swollen cheek, a bloody nose, and a bump on the head. And, of course, these jewelers, and by the way, actually, I'm going to say something then contradict myself. Maybe he doesn't understand the jewelry game with dealing with rappers, but he's actually cooperating with the police. And now the police says they have enough evidence to lock Quavo up. So they, and I'm talking about the police, they alerted the Migos lawyer to say, yo, we have enough proof. Quavo could either turn himself in, or we're going to lock him up as soon as we see the motherfucker. Okay, now, let me tell y'all this, and this is another thing I learned about jewelry game. The goddamn jewelers, they're the biggest gangsters. Because you know what happens? The jewelers realize they're dealing with a lot of people who are thugged out and all that. You better have your own homies to get your back in case a rapper don't pay. What you going to do, sue him? Like, these niggas ain't responding to lawsuits. Tell me how well it's going with a jeweler trying to sue somebody. So most of the times, these niggas got to get on their strong arm tactics as well. Okay, so what happens? The jewelers, they are usually friends because, by the way, jewelers have a lot of money. Okay, they become friends with hood niggas. Okay, maybe it's one of the homies in the hood that they could, of course, hook up, and then they say, yo, we'll protect you and whatever. Usually the jewelers got all the niggas who are really about that life. You don't believe me? The stories of Sean Kingston getting beat up by a jeweler or robbed by a jeweler, that is actually not false. Allegedly. Allegedly, okay? Jewelers move like gangsters. They have gangsters on payroll because they're dealing with niggas who, number one, are claiming to be gangsters themselves, on record or elsewise, and as well, you're dealing with a bunch of niggas that ain't trying to pay. So if they're gangster, you better be moving gangster. Clearly, Eric the jeweler was not moving gangster because he's filed lawsuits and he's cooperating with the police. Let me tell you this, I know a couple other jewelers, they will not be calling no police. They will be pulling up to where the Migos will be next performing, and they will be stepping to them niggas saying, where that 10K at? Trust me, jewelers have kidnapped, and when you see it on TMZ, it's not a joke. They've kidnapped tons of these rap niggas, okay? Throw a nigga in the back of a car and threaten that nigga at gunpoint until he pay up. Because keep in mind, the jewelers are really advanced in jewelry. And keep in mind, if you give somebody a chain or a fucking Cuban link or whatever that's fucking worth $150,000, you're not gonna have some goons to make sure that motherfucker pays, especially if you can't really sue. Right? Of course you're going to do that. So basically, most of these jewelers have goons on deck. Clearly, Eric the jeweler did not. And unfortunately for him, he got to go through this. But then you could tell he's going to be ostracized within the whole entertainment industry. They're going to look at him as a snitch, even though he's probably not no gangster himself, so he's not snitching. However, they're going to look at him like, yo, Eric, you're the nigga who worked with 12 to get Quavo locked up. I'm not buying a chain from you. So, grand opening, grand closing of this nigga's goddamn jewelry career. If he proves me otherwise, I would love to see. All right? Get a comment. But you guys like and subscribe. What do you guys think about this? They about to lock Quavo up, bro. They about to lock him up, dog. By the way, Quavo is, and by the way, all the Migos, they're all on probation. Remember when they got locked up at Georgia State University over them having a couple of guns and weed on a college campus? They are on probation for that. This will definitely trigger Quavo having to go back to court to answer to why the fuck he's getting locked up, and hopefully he doesn't violate himself, okay? By the way, to the Migos, y'all roll with 25 dudes. I've seen it in person. They roll with 25 dudes. I was at Complex Con. I saw a long trail of niggas, and I was like, who the fuck are these Samoan-looking niggas? They all came with Amigos. I think each member got at least like 10 niggas with them, and nothing wrong with that, because when you're worth that much and you're that poppin', you should. But keep in mind, if you got that many niggas with you, why the fuck are you actually throwing hands? I get it. Y'all niggas, y'all used to do that when you weren't this big, but come on, niggas want to sue you now. Back then, niggas would try to come back and kill you. This is the age where niggas will sue you. So again, Quavo is being sought after to be arrested, and also you got to keep in mind, Eric the jeweler might just throw this into a goddamn case for assault, and he might get some money on some civil suit there, and it could be hundreds of thousands, okay? But as far as his jewelry career in hip-hop, I got to imagine, grand opening, grand closing, okay? Get in the comments, you guys like them, subscribe to Akademiks. I'm up.